What's up, my Finite loves? It's Miss Finite D coming to you all from V9 News. So a few years ago, Brian McKnight, older children, accused him of being a deadbeat, okay? I'm not going to post and read the entire thing because most of you know this story. I've also talked about it over the years, but just a few lines from it will make this whole story make sense. So Brian McKnight Jr. wrote, "I can't imagine abandoning my children, man. It's hard not to imagine the psyche of a man who can truly just turn his back on his actual sons, on his actual blood and creations. It's mind-boggling to me." He continued, "I don't think there is any situation that merits the way my father has chosen to treat my brother, my sisters, and his grandchildren, one of which being his firstborn son, who also bear our name." I'm not going to read any further because you all know the history and the story. But basically, when this started happening, Brian then went on his Instagram, released a long video, which I posted years ago, and a series of different posts basically stating that, I'm going to summarize, he's not a deadbeat. His children are all grown, meaning his older kids. Every time financially he can't step up or come through, that's when he becomes a deadbeat because he feels like he worked hard, he poured into his children. They are all adults that can take care of themselves and all of that. His children then came out and said, no, that's not the case. Of course, we have our own thing going on. We just want our father, because your job is never done being a parent. Once they turn 18 and over, that doesn't mean, oh, you're 18 now, we're done. No, they still want the presence of their father, his love, and everything that parents get to offer. He, on the other hand, said that's not what was going on, that they were entitled, allegedly, they were spoiled, and the list goes on and on. Well, with all of this going on, Brian McKnight's ex-wife, Julie McKnight, released a book. Okay, the book was filled with, accusations and things like that. Okay, Mama Bear, beautifully blended. Okay, so in that book, it portrayed allegedly Brian as him being an abusive and a deadbeat dad. Okay, that led Brian McKnight to file a defamation lawsuit against his ex-wife at the time, claiming basically everything she placed in the book about him was false. Okay, that's when then Brian came on Instagram and announced that he won that defamation lawsuit against his ex-wife. So let's get into his video that he posted.
It's been a long journey getting to this day, October 16th, 2025, but we are here in the English countryside, about an hour and a half outside of London, and the verdict is in. We've been quiet, listening to liars continue to lie and keeping to ourselves, living and loving our life, as we said, leaving everything in God's hands and letting our lawyer do the talking. But according to the courts, trying to ruin my name and trying to bring harm to my family in a book filled with lies equals $8.8 million. And this is just the beginning, because anyone and everyone that helped promote these lies will hear from my lawyer in the days to come. No weapon formed against us shall prosper. Now, from my voicemail is the voice of a liar.
Do not text Nico again. Do not call Nico again. Leilani, if you are also checking these messages, that goes for you as well. I am very serious about this. I am very serious about this. Do not text him, period. Period. Please understand that. And Brian, you know me. You know me. And you know that I mean what I'm saying to you.
That's what Brian McKnight was trying to prove here is, I am calling. I'm not a deadbeat, but whenever I call, I get messages like this telling me not to call. So which one is it? Because in order for us to get into a good space, a good environment, and get our relationship back on track, communication. is the top priority. But if I'm calling and you're telling me to not call, how am I supposed to get through for us to get to a better place? Then you can also see this from a different perspective. If he's calling and those phone calls are leading to arguments every single time, are triggering, and emotional abuse is going on allegedly. I'm not saying it is, I'm just saying allegedly. If those phone calls are not leading to positive things, healing and all of that, then like her book title, Mama Bear, she's going to protect her kids regardless of how old they are, and say, okay, since we're going to keep arguing and more emotional abuse is going on allegedly, then don't call them at all. Because if calling is going to lead to fights and arguments and all of that, then we are not getting anywhere, and just don't call at all. Okay? Focus on your new family that you have created and just don't call. Most of you are aware that, yes, he is remarried and he does have children with his new wife. And he even changed his name so that his youngest son can be a junior to match his new name, even though he already have a Brian McKnight Jr. Okay? So speaking of Brian McKnight Jr., this is what he had to say about his father posting this video. Let's get into it.
I've tried, man. I've tried really, really hard to not touch on shit, to let it go, to be the bigger person, to be mature, to be something. But the shit going on with my dad right now, man. If y'all aren't seeing what's happening, if y'all aren't seeing the fact that this is just a very hurt and a very emotionally unavailable and not intelligent person, the person that is still have not been able to handle the death of his own mother, the things that we're seeing him go through right now, to decide to make certain posts on my late brother's birthday. Say what you want, dog, but the gloves are off for me, just to keep it real. And and the thing about it is, it's like, I get it, man. Our parents, they're humans too. They've gone through things too. Whatever the grievances they have against each other, whatever. My issue is, though, man, you don't want me to start talking about the things that I had to deal with in my childhood, the things that I will take to my grave, the things that my brother took to his grave, that we could put out there, the things that we could say as a son, as a teenager, as a 15-year-old that my brother was when we started touring, the things that we went through together, the things that we actually saw, the things that we actually lived with and dealt with because our dad wasn't emotionally intelligent enough nor mature enough to actually be a father. You don't want that. And without even getting too deep, man, it's like to do it on my brother's late birthday, my baby brother's heavenly birthday, his first heavenly birthday. This is the post you decide to make? That's not petty? You don't think people are going to realize that that's ridiculous and that it's obviously strategic? Who are you trying to hurt if it's not me and my mother and our family? Who are you trying to hurt? Who are you trying to hurt, man? Which has always been my issue. Which is why way back when that started all this, I made the post that I made, because I knew that this was the only thing that would get you, man. Maybe that was my fault. I've taken accountability for it. But it's become obviously clear, and maybe not even just me, and I'm hoping to the masses that we're dealing with someone that has unchecked trauma that they're not dealing with. And to everybody else, man, use us as an example for the fact that it's like, don't believe everything you see in the media either. There are multiple sides of a story. There are multiple sides of it. You know what I mean? Because you love this nigga's music, because you think you know this motherfucker, you don't. I do. My mama does. My dead bro, God rest his soul, knows him. Who you gonna believe, man? This shit's stupid. It's petty. I hate it. I hate talking about it. I hate being a part of it. It's such a shame. We watched the Jonas Brothers and their families touring the world together. Should have been us. The problem was, my dad didn't want to do it. He just wanted to fuck bitches. So in closing, man, just to keep it real, this isn't the last time we're going to talk about this, because I've realized that maybe it's time for me to start talking about this kind of stuff. Maybe it's time for me to start not airing shit out, but being vulnerable enough and open enough as someone that has lived an insane life. I'm going to start talking about these things, man. It's unfortunate that we're going through this with my father. It's unfortunate that y'all are watching my father and my mother duke it out publicly. But what I can assure you is, though, the truth will be revealed. You'll feel it. You'll know it to be true. If you actually have a heart, if you actually have a soul, and you at the very least try, you'll see the truth.
Happy heavenly birthday, my beautiful baby brother. I miss you more than I'm able to process. Thank you for visiting me in my dreams. This life will never be the same without you. I feel you in the wind. I hear you when birds sing and when our favorite cars rear. I see you when the sun sets and when waves crash. I just wish I could hug you again. I'll never let you go. I love you so much, John boy. I know you're making the gods laugh and swan with that perfect smile. Nico forever, hashtag. He also posted different images and videos, moments of his brother before the caption that I just read. I'm praying for healing all the way around. This situation is so heartbreaking, and may his brother's soul rest in peace. And most of you are aware that he passed due to his battle with cancer. I also want to include me providing reasons why a phone call was played or a voice memo or whatever it was, note that was played in the end. That's not me taking up for anybody or taking his side. Absolutely not. When someone play or present evidence, they are looking for an interpretation. I just simply said maybe his point of playing that call was to show, hey, I'm being called these names, but look, I did call, I did do this, and I was told to stop. And then I also explained the flip side. What if the phone calls were leading to more damage and not resolution? Then of course, as a mom, stop calling because you're not helping the situation. So I also explained the flip side, because anyone can present something to make a situation look a certain way, but what happened behind the scenes to lead her to get to the point of saying don't call no more? You understand what I'm saying? Manipulation, all of those things could happen. Also to post, on the day that he chose, it's just all a terrible situation, and I'm praying for healing. I'm wishing all of you well, and take care.
Thank you all for your love and support. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and leave this video a thumbs up. Also turn on notifications so when I do post, you're aware that I posted. And I will see you all in the comment section. Remember to always have the God bless attitude, which is being positive at all times and seeing the good in every situation. Have a great day, guys. God bless.